Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. Right, I was going to try maybe one every day or one every second day, but I've been busy with my brother from Sweden and my sisters from Somerset, Taunton and Somerset, and my father near Wigan and his wife. So anyway, right, we had a brother and sister reunion for the first time, like me, my brother, my two sisters, a reunion since at least 2006, all us together. But anyway, that's the reason why I've not been posting recently, but I'm back with a bang. Right, even though every day I've not been listening to quite a lot of music, or not one album in its entirety, but, when was it? Well, it was a day when me and my brother went with one of my cousins a walk up to a hill called Benny Craig in Ecclesmack, West Lothian, Scotland. And before that, we listened to a sci-fi CD, which is just, well, all your like top 10 or 15 greatest sci-fi themes. Then we listened to a horror one, which again is about 10 or 15 of your greatest horror tracks. Good CDs to put in the background if you're trying to make like a home movie, a horror movie or a sci-fi movie. But anyhow, another one was like back then, WWF, World Wrestling Federation, now WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. Sometimes it's not entertaining, but anyhow, that's what it is, because it's more rounded for the general public. Anyhow, it was just like all the wrestlers' themes: The Rock, Stone Cold, Undertaker, Mankind, all that nonsense. So it was, I think it was 2002 it came out, and it's WWF something. Anyway, but it's also got like Drowning Pool on it. It was a good album though. Some of the songs went on a bit too long, because when a wrestler normally comes out for a match, it only comes down for about 50 seconds. So you didn't need to hear any more than that. Or maybe a minute, but you didn't need to hear more than that. But it was nostalgic. Because when my brother went to Sweden, either in 2008 or 2009, he gave me them all and I put them in a CD case, like a one that you zip up. And it had it had the sci-fi theme, the horror theme, and that wrestling CD. They were the three that we listened to last week. So, just be back with you in a second. Right, anywho, just thought I would mention what I've been listening to recently, and when we've been in places like the Livingston Shopping Centre or the Chain Runner in Livingston, I've heard songs in the background, but I've not heard any like properly great ones. But anywho, in fact, I think when we walked into Livingston Shopping Centre yesterday, I heard Lewis Capaldi for the first time in ages. I will need to listen to his newest album and his debut. Paid a lot of money for both of them, so I'll get the use of them. One of them's a picture disc. Anyhow, right, so I've said all that because I wanted to say it before this. Right, I've not heard this all the way through the day, but I've heard it all the way through once before, and it's a masterpiece. Ever since I found out that he sings the original, the DJ Sammy, Heaven. Oh my god, I had to look it up, and what an absolute masterpiece. One of the all-time greatest ballads. I mean, basically and in essence, right, when I was really concentrating there, right, and not just like listening to it because it was on, I mean really listening to it, right, and I think the thing is, right, with Bryan Adams, like, you know, some of his like classics, right, like Heaven, Run to You, and Summer of 69, because Summer of 69 is a sort of song you always play at parties or gatherings. It just always comes on if there's a DJ, he'll put it on. But what I was saying is, in fact, that album is like went oof, one of the all-time greatest selling albums. But anyhow, so there's a great song on it though. Well, they're all great, but Somebody, that's a good song. It's only Love, and it's with Tina Turner. So it's a good song, but the whole album is really good as well. But as I was saying previous to that, right, that like you think to yourself, Bryan Adams is alright, and then when you look up his back catalogue or even his greatest hits, wait there, right. Bryan Adams, So Far So Good. Please Forgive Me, new single, Summer of 69, Run to You, Heaven, and Everything I Do For You. Bit overplayed that song because it was like 16 consecutive weeks in the UK singles chart in 1991. And the album that songs came off is his best-selling album of all time, and that's his second best-selling album of all time. But it's only Love's on this one. It's a real good song that. But I like that Baby When You're Gone with Mel C. Because that brings back memories for me, because it's like 1999 and it was brilliant. Going Up and Down in a House, it was brilliant. Somebody's on this one as well. Basically and in essence, this is another album where I don't think it's a studio album, it's a greatest hits. It's brilliant. It's phenomenal. It's got all feathers and no killer. No, it's got all killers and no feathers. Yeah. Well, basically and in essence, it's an album you could always listen to without skipping every song. That's how good it is in my opinion. It's one of the albums in well, not my top 20, but it's one of the albums in my top 20 that I could listen to without skipping a song. Probably the same with this greatest hits, actually. But as I was saying, I think to appreciate a artist like him that's been around since 1980, and then I think his first ever single 1983. Anyhow, you've got to look him up and then see his back catalogue and think, he was a great artist, because if you're gone by the greatest hits, he's more than the greatest hits. Because Baby When You're Gone's not on this. In fact, Baby When You're Gone was after this greatest hits. So he was only 25-year-old when he made this masterpiece. One Night Love Affair, She's Only Happy When She Dances, Run to You, Heaven, Somebody, Summer of 69, Kids Wanna Rock, It's Only Love, Long Gone, and Ain't Gonna Cry. And it's brilliant. I would recommend that. Just like over the years I've heard some of his greatest hits and that, and no really thought anything about it, and then I looked him up, and he's officially the greatest selling musical anything like band or artist from Canada. Well, he could be maybe second after Justin Bieber, but anyhow, or Beaver. Anyhow, so he's in the list of greatest selling artists of all time because he's sold more than 20 million, and I think you have to sell at least between 20 and 30 million over your whole career to be in the list of all-time greatest selling, but he is. He's doing really good these days, still touring. After all these years, since 1980, well 80, but 83 was his first ever single. But anyhow, so He's just one of the artists, as I said. You need to look up his back catalogue and then think, God, he did bring some really good hits out. Because basically and in essence, he'll bring out one phenomenal song and then wait a couple of years and then bring out another one. Like he's no, well, yeah. No, in fact, he's no the type of artists that are just constantly like one after the other, after the other, after the other. But then when it comes time to make a greatest hits, you think, wow, he has got a good back catalogue. Didn't listen to him often enough, but people must have been absolutely fed up of Everything I Do It For You in 1991. 16 weeks in a row, for God's sake. Some people haven't even had 16 top like 5 hits, for God's sake, and he had number 1 for 16 weeks. I mean, it is a good song in its own, the Robin Hood film in 1991, with Kevin Costner, so would recommend that. Never really recommended a film on this, but anyway, it goes well with the it goes well with the film, and the music in the film like coagulate to make it an experience for the ears and the eyes. The ears for the song and the eyes for the film. And film for one's enjoyment, and the music for one's listening pleasure whenever you decide to do so. That is the music I've been listening to recently, because this is my segment where every so often I grab a handful of CDs or vinyl records I haven't heard in at least 2 weeks or more, and listen to it in its entirety without skipping, and then review the albums I've listened to that day, or review them the next again day. And as I was saying, the reason why I'm doing this is just mainly so I can have a series, and then when you coagulate and put them all together, you can watch them as a play all, and it's a series. So this is series, I think it's 4. Technically it's 5, but there was one where I called it something, I can't remember, because I reviewed the album a lot in that video, so I called it what that video was about. But so that's what I was saying. So when I listen to a plethora of CDs or LPs, or maybe even on occasion a cassette tape, cassette tape or whatever, as long as it's an album, I will review it, because I want to pick out albums that I've not heard in a while, so that every album I've got, I listen to at least 5 times so I can get the money's worth, no matter what the price is, between 50p and £35, or even £35, because I think £35 is the dearest I've spent on an album, which is a vinyl record, and then the cheapest is 50 pence, or 99 pence, or £1. But the Bryan Adams one was 99 pence, but I can't believe, right, and I know like it's like meh, or like silly, because, well, it's not silly, because it's nostalgia, but anyway, it's just that like, I like to hold the music in my hand and have a physical copy, and you can read it all. I mean, you can read it all online and stuff like that, but it's not the same. You get the wee booklets and the lyrics, or as I call them, lyrics. But you can look up the lyrics on your phone, but it's not the same. Because it's the only time I can properly say that I really read, because I didn't really read, I didn't really peter. I peter and then I peter. I peter check the lyrics and then I peter them, peter read. So that's my excuse to say that I'm reading. Because I've just read you the track list, so one that with me. But anyhow, what else is I saying? Sometimes I just speak and then I stop and then I can't remember what I'm going to say next, but Aye, so that is the sole main reason of this like plethora, like part 1, 2, 3, 4, and however. Aye, I just grab. Well, I've said it, but I'll say it again. Right, I will listen to the rest of this and then maybe get a tiny more in-depth review. In fact, I'll just finish by saying that is like, oh God, it's just like good, honest, happy, and then for some people nostalgic, classic, good rock, and I would say love. Summer of '69, like love to that era. It's only love. And one night love affair, and she's only happy when she dances. So it's got like bits rock romance, but just good honest rock that it's like Summer of '69 that you can listen to, because the lyrics in that song, oh, I mean, when I was younger I thought it was a bit overplayed because you hear it everywhere, because it's his biggest hit, well in my opinion anyway, but I've got my first real 6-string, bought it at a 5 and dine, played it till my fingers bled. It was the summer of '69. Me and some of the guys from school had a band and we tried real hard. Aye, it's just a bit like growing up and trying to make it as a rock star and having a great summer of '69. It's brilliant. It's one of these songs that like you just can't not say that you. No, you can always admit that you like it. It's just one that everyone knows, and if you've not heard it in a while, you can still remember it, and it brings back memories. Even though I wasn't even. Wait, was I? Wait, what's it? When was this? Oh, '84. I wasn't even born then. But it brings back memories, the song, hearing it when I was younger. Because technically, and in essence, music can do this to you, that even if you love a band on a album, and particular a song, even if it came out before you were born, if you've heard it when you were younger, it brings back so many memories. Because it does bring back memories, like either discos, gatherings, radio. When it comes on, you just can't help but like, aye, aye. So, God, if he was around in '69, he must have been very young, because he was 25 in '84. Aye, he probably did. Aye, anyway, so he's just really good. And as I said, he's still performing these days. So even though I've reviewed the other two that I was listening to a couple of days ago, oh, aye, it's mainly a review about that album, because that's the only one I've heard in the last like 3 or 4 days. No all the way through, but I've heard it all the way through when I first got it. So I thought I would review it, because I've not made a video in a while. This is the only reason why I'm making this video, because I've not made one, well, I don't know when, but I've not made it. Right, I'm babbling on a bit. Anyway, I just make this series because I want to review an album that I've heard in its entirety or halfway through. And if you've watched it and maybe think, oh, I'll try this, like I'm promoting a good album, and hopefully it gets the recognition it deserves. That's got its recognition it deserves, and plenty more. But anyhow, I would say that most of the albums I've reviewed recently are very well known, or even certified platinum more than once. But it's not all about reviewing the greatest albums, it's just picking a decent album that I've bought, listening to it all the way through, because people didn't really do that these days. They just pick their best songs and put it in their playlist. But I don't work like that. I like the album to tell a story and then I'll review it. So I'm going to get some breakfast and have a vitamin C and D vitamin tablet. Aye, got to start drinking vitamin drinks. Right, so look out for the next part of this series, reviewing albums in its entirety or halfway through. Anyhow, right, shout out to Wunge Marja and Wunge Faja. Peace, safe, support music and stuff like that. Aye, but real music, like physical copies of music. Right. Yeah.